Again, my name is Cassandra Madrano. I'm the program manager to Commissioner Aaron Dimerson and the key contact for our Texas Interns Unite initiative. I'm excited to kick off this press conference on this beautiful morning with amazing people here at Google and you guys, of course. And we have a great agenda lined up. And you'll hear from a number of amazing people, and we're just excited, that are equally excited as me. So welcome. And TIU, as I call it, Texas Interns Unite, is an initiative that will truly benefit our Texas employers and Texas interns. So stay tuned for big things to come. Right now, I would like to bring up our wonderful Texas Workforce Commissioner representing employers, Aaron Dimerson.
All right, Cassandra said the wonderful. Okay, and Commissioner Alvarez said she thought he was going to say mean, the mean commissioner. So, but delighted to be here. Good morning. Just delighted to be here. It's an exciting day for us. Texas Interns Unite initiative is something that we've been working on for quite some time, and actually to see it come together is quite amazing. And so my hat's off to it, the staff that's been behind this, helping us to put this together. We really appreciate that participation. Also, we couldn't do this without our partners, and to my left is Dr. Booker, representing the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board, and their commissioner, Harrison Keller, has really hit the ground running. His first event, the first week at work, was an initiative where I was on a panel dealing with internships. And we basically got together to talk about internships, and to see this happen is really something that kind of warms my heart, and we're excited about it. Let me ask all the interns in here today to just stand. Just if you guys would just stand, let's give them a round of applause for what they're doing. This is, you guys can be seated, but this is a win-win situation for us. This is our future talent pipeline, and so we're excited about that. All over we hear about the labor shortages that are existing in our state. I was in a restaurant on Saturday or Sunday, and they had a sign that said labor shortage around the world, so please be patient with us from that standpoint. And so we're excited about these interns. There are some employers that have figured it out. Basically is that when you have interns, you have a pipeline of talent that goes forward in a big way. And so thank you guys for what you're doing, and we look forward to really speaking into you guys from that point. We have a number of speakers that are here today, and we're going to do that. But before I do that, I wanted to introduce a few folks. Our Executive Director of the Texas Workforce Commission is Ed Cerna. Ed, thank you for joining us this morning. And he is really allowing the agency to really go forward in that regard. And so, yeah, we appreciate that, you doing that. Kim Watson, our Chief of Staff, for Brian Daniel. He's our Chairman, Commissioner. And so we have 3 commissioners at the Texas Workforce Commission. I have the opportunity and the pleasure to represent employers in the state of Texas. You're going to hear from who I refer to as our Texas Tornado, Commissioner Julian Alvarez, who represents the labor side as well. And then our chairman is Brian Daniel, and he represents the public from that standpoint. And Kim is the Chief of Staff in his respective office as well, and so we're excited to have them here. So Ed Curtis, Ed is joining us as well. Ed, thank you for being here. We have an initiative that we're going to be kicking off in September. You'll hear a little bit more about that, but Ed Curtis with Why Texas is representing that firm, and we're excited to be a partner with you in those efforts as well. And then I see Mike Maroney, who just came into the room. Mike is representing a lot of the manufacturers that we have here in Texas, that coalition, and Mike really will be getting the word back to those individuals about what we're doing and the internship opportunities that exist here in our state. And so what you see is the collaboration of individuals really taking care of business. And in Texas, that's the way we do it. We collaborate, we take care of business, and we're on point from that standpoint. Some people may call that bragging, but in Texas we say it ain't bragging if it's true. You know, the fact of the matter is that we really take care of business, and we're excited to have this press conference join us. I'm not going to introduce the other panelists that we see here. These are employers, and again, I'm excited about the employers that are here because they've invested into what we're doing, and where the rubber meets the road is with the employers and actually our workforce solution offices. And so, pleasure having our workforce solution offices here, Paul Fletcher with the Rural Capital Group, and then Tamara Atkinson, who represents the capital area as well. We appreciate that relationship as well. And so while we're here today, Cassandra kind of talked about that. We're here really to promote and recognize the importance of internships in our state. You're going to hear the word win-win a lot. It creates a win-win situation anytime you have employers that are out there making that vested interest in us, in these interns from that point. I had 2 boys, as a matter of fact, and I'll just share the story, and then we're going to get to the other side. So I've seen internships front and center. You know, Stephen Lowe is SMU undergrad and graduate school, interned for eForts E4 Youth. Then he went to work, Sherry Matthews interned there, and then with Epsilon. Well, he's been 12 months off the payroll with Epsilon at this point, and so we are excited about that. And my youngest, Matthew, University of Arkansas grad, he basically interned in NFP and a couple of other companies along those lines. And Matthew will be starting the Dish Network in Denver. I'm going to get him back to Texas eventually, but that's where he's going to go. But they had internships that were very, very important to the start of their career, and that's what we're seeing here today. And so we're going to have a number of events. There's a one-pager that many of you guys have that actually states out the 4 events that we'll have. We're going to kick off this Friday, as a matter of fact. We're going to have a keynote speaker, Emily Mither, that's going to be with us. Joyce Johnson has joined us as well, and we may tap into those expertise that you have as well along those lines. But thank you for joining us for this initiative. But June the 10th, that's our first kickoff. That's going to be followed July 28th with the Texas Interns National Internship Day, but we're going to do it with the Texas twist. That's something that we do here in Texas, a different way of doing things, and we'll have an opportunity to move forward there. And then we're going to follow up September the 30th with our Why Texas Summit. It is at September 30th, if I'm not mistaken, in Arlington, Texas, at AT&T Stadium. That's where we're going to be kicking that off, and that'll be our final event for the Interns Unite initiative. And so get ready for it. It's here, front and center. Again, thanks to the staff for all they've done to make this happen, and we're excited about the opportunities that we have going forward. And so with that, I'm going to call up next our Commissioner representing Labor, the Texas Tornado, Julian Alvarez.
Usually when I speak after Aaron, Commissioner Demerson, the podium's taller than I am. So today he made it sure that I was taller so you guys could see me. So thank you, Commissioner. He always has to rub that in about my height, or he puts a box. How exciting it is. You know, this is not the first time we've addressed interns. We've done it at the Capitol many times during session, which is pretty cool. And what I really like about it is just seeing the faces of people like you, the future of this great state of ours. You know, the luxury and just the ability to be here today and serve as an intern, earn while you learn, which is the same model that we use for apprenticeship, but also just the experience that you're going to be learning and the networking. My God, just to be in a room. I mean, you know how many kids in South Texas, where I'm from, would love to be in the Google building? I mean, how cool is that? I mean, I've never even been here, and I got nervous just coming in this building. But it's a big treat, and I keep thinking about all the kids around the state of Texas that would love to be sitting where you're at today, and how fortunate that you are. And one of the things that I really want you to, that I hope resonates with you, is that one of you all one day will be replacing Commissioner Demerson and myself. And I'm hoping it's a young lady that's going to be representing the Office of Labor, which, by the way, he represents the workers, KXAN, and of course the folks at Baylor, Scott and White. I represent you, the worker. And so that's my interest. And so I take a lot of pride in that. And I want to make sure that working, and it's obvious by working together with Commissioner Demerson and Chairman Daniel, that this succeeds. Again, my role here today was just tell you how fortunate that we all are to have great, smart people. I mean, you guys are the smartest of the smart. You guys are the best of the best. Stacy Morales, I don't know if she's here, my intern. I hope she didn't test positive for COVID because I don't see her. Brady Akers, who just graduated from Texas State and now going to UT. Is that where you went to school?
St. Edwards.
St. Edwards. Same thing. But anyway, going to UT now. Is now a Longhorn. But Stacy Morales, who is our intern, and I'll talk a little bit about her, we're about to submit our legislative proposals. Stacy Morales is a student at Texas Tech University. She worked policy, legislative. She was a legislative director for Bobby Guerra, who is a state rep here from Edinburgh, Texas. And so we're looking forward to working with her. But can you imagine, she's going to get involved. She's going to be helping us with the legislation for this upcoming legislative session. And that's what many of you are going to be doing. So Commissioner Demerson, thank you. I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge Commissioner Ruth Hughes, who used to at one time lead this charge. So she's here with us today. And Mike Maroney, who's working on great things, talking about things that we only dreamt of in the past, and it's like micro-credentialing and you know, apprenticeship programs and stuff like that. That's terminology that's being used today that didn't exist 5 years ago. So again, to the brightest of the bright, we're glad that you're here. We're glad to be a part of it and certainly take advantage of it. So thank you, Commissioner Demerson, for the great work you're doing and for you leading this charge. Thank you.
And I'm blessed to work with folks like Commissioner Alvarez, and so thank you for all that you're doing, and we're going to hit the ground running in a big, big way. I'm representing the employers, he's representing the employee, and we're going to take care of business in that regard with our chairman as well. Commissioner Alvarez brought to your attention Commissioner Ruth Hughes, that former commissioner representing employers, also the former Secretary of State, Texas Secretary of State, and it means a lot when she shows up to an event like this. Texas Internship Challenge is an initiative that she was really behind at the agency while there, and we're building on that with this Texas Interns Unite initiative that we have going on now. Catherine, thank you so much for allowing us to be in this space. Google wants to be behind the scene and everything, but we appreciate you allowing us the opportunity to be here at this beautiful building as well. And so I'm going to bring up our partners with this initiative. Again, you'll be amazed at the programs that and things that are happening here in Texas. And so Dr. Booker is going to talk to you a little bit about what they're doing at the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board. As I said, Commissioner Keller is a firm supporter of the initiatives that we have going forward, and we're delighted to have you guys as a partner. This is an organization that really gets behind it. Vanessa and that team, when they say they're going to do something, they pull it together, they hit the road running, their action speaks loud, and we appreciate the support that you guys are giving us over and over as we're pushing forward. So I'll bring up Dr. Booker for comments.
Good morning, Jarrell Booker, the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board. I'll be brief in my remarks. We're delighted to be here at Google's offices down here, Vibrant. Thank you for having us. This is a wonderful location to have this. It's great to be a partner with the Texas Workforce Commission around Texas Interns Unite. We have a program at our agency called Texas Works, which we try to provide internships to students with financial need, and then pay half the internship, up to $10, to help employers even get up to even $20 and more for their competitive wage. Internships for us is vital, as we're trying to make sure all students and Texans have access to a post-secondary credential and actually grow and learn in their careers. One thing I always tell students about internships is not always the job you're going to have. You learn that might not be the job you want. So it's two things you get out of it, and I think a lot of times in these internships you'll look around and say, I want that person's job. And that kind of sets you off. And I was talking to the gentleman here. It was interesting. If it's not on TV, I know I came up, everybody was want to be a lawyer or doctor because that's what was on TV. You don't realize how many other jobs. You didn't know there was a commissioner for employers and workers and all that. And it's very helpful to have these sort of internship programs to get students started. It's a great success opportunity for the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board because it shows once you're in school and you see what you want to do, it actually allows us to have better completion rates for higher education, both 2-year and 4-year. So that said, on behalf of the Coordinating Board, we're happy to be partners in this work. We'll continue to work on our Texas Works project, and hopefully we can get more internships and more opportunities. For any employers who are interested in being in Texas Works, this is a shameless plug. It's highered.gov.tx/TXWorks. And hopefully we can get more employers involved because we have a great deal of strong workers there. And I do want to point out one of our assistant commissioners, Matt Parsons, in the back. He's part of Workforce Innovation. We have a great partnership with TWC and TEA. He's just an example of how you work back and forth with both agencies to make sure we're serving Texans in the state of Texas like we should. That said, thank you very, very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Dr. Booker. And, we're going to hear from Accenture in a second, but Amy, where's Amy? Amy over there at Accenture. She actually got her start as an intern with the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board. And so I guess at that point you decided, I'm not going to be at the Higher Education Coordinating Board, I'm going to go elsewhere, but it allowed her an opportunity to do that as well. The Higher Education Coordinating Board team, would you guys just stand? I want to recognize you guys for the work that you do. That's an initiative at the state level where if you're trying to pay an intern, say $20 an hour, they're matching that with $10 towards that. I mean, that's pretty phenomenal, assisting in those efforts of paying that wage. And so if it's $20, there's $10 there. And so a small business, a business has to come up with $10 to make that work. And so I applaud you guys, Commissioner Keller, on the work that's been done in that regard. And we're delighted to be a partner with this initiative, our event that's going to happen on June the 10th, and our event that's going to be happening on July the 28th as well. And so we're going to bring up Haley Sayak with the news director with KXAN. And Haley has worked at the company for that long amount of time. I'll let her tell the story and the like. And so she's not one of the interns. She actually finished her internship position. But Haley, we'll bring you up to have comments. We appreciate you being here.
My pleasure. Thank you. I also appreciate the tiny podium. I am one of those people that Dr. Booker talked about who got my internship thinking I wanted to be an on-air reporter, and then thought, oh wait, there's a producing job? I like that. That's what's going to fit me. So I definitely benefited from the KXAN internship program, and now I'm directing their news department. So great things can happen. We have the benefit of being really visible in this community, and I think that's what draws in a lot of our interns, and what they don't realize when they arrive is that we are part of an enormous network of television stations, the largest in the country. We're owned by Nexstar, and when they get there, they start to recognize that they can tap into Illinois or New York or California and all of these other places by way of the relationships they build. And I think that is something that Commissioner Demerson and I were talking about. It's not really, it's of course about the skills they learn, but also about the relationships they build and how they manage those relationships and navigate some tricky ones, and learn to be in a professional environment, which you don't always get when you're in a college class experience, right? So that is the value that those internships bring to the table. And I can't tell you, I mean, I wish I had brought the number, but we have so many former KXAN interns working in our building. They go away, they learn something new, they come back, and of course we consider them very carefully because we already know who they are. And we know they know who we are. And so it's a natural fit. And those relationships, like I said, are really the most important part. So for Nexstar and for KXAN, you know, investing in those relationships with the interns is really important to us. Right now we have 6 in our summer program, which allows us to bring in interns from all over instead of just UT, St. Ed's, Texas State. Those are the folks we get during the fall and spring semester, but we find them really valuable. And I hope that our interns walk away with some really valuable things as well. But I would tell all of the aspiring interns out there, I'm going to give you a story of one who just recently left our spring semester. She was pretty engaged and, you know, talked during our editorial meetings, occasionally shadowed reporters and producers along their, you know, their daily duties. But at the end of the semester, she snuck back to a bulletin board and tacked up a personal handwritten note for every person in the newsroom. 75 people. You want to talk about making an impression. If they didn't know her name when she came in, they knew her name when she went out. So it's those kinds of things that are memorable and an opportunity to connect with future employers. So I'm excited to support this program any way we can and appreciate what you guys are doing.
Thank you. Again, thank you for your support of these efforts and what you're doing. You guys are hearing the story, and so it's real. These are things that really make a difference. Stacy Speck has joined us as well. Stacy, thank you for being with us. Cushing-Taro, architectural firm here as well, and so another major employer that we have in our state as well. All right, next we're going to bring up Sandra Fly, Director of Clinical Quality, Baylor Scott & White Health. And so, Sandra, when you talk about the healthcare area, let me first of all just say thanks to the individuals in the healthcare profession. This pandemic's been crazy, and those guys have been, again, boots on the ground to a lot of things happening here in our state, and we appreciate the work that you guys are doing from that standpoint. So, Sandra, I'll bring you up to the podium to have remarks. Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm going to bring my bottle because I drink a lot of water, so we're going to hope that I don't get into this one here, right? I'm so excited to be here. I'm super excited for many reasons, but I'll tell you right now that last Wednesday we had 9 Texas State interns join us. So 9, that's a large number for us. We usually stay about 6. But many of you might know Mr. Topinka from Texas State. And when he calls and says, hey Sandy, I have an intern, they really don't have a place, I really need your help. And I was at number 8 when he made this call. So he said, can you take one more? And I'm like, yes, I can take one more. I really have a passion for internship and being a preceptor. I'm a nurse by background. So I've had a lot of nursing students and precepted probably close to 38 years. But the Texas State intern program, I actually started that with St. David's prior to my retiring and coming to Baylor Scott & White. When I joined Baylor Scott & White, I asked them about an intern internship with Texas State, and there was not one. So we started one. If you know Mark Sherry, he's our VP of HR, and he helped us to get it off the ground. And again, we have 9 for the summer. We already have 6 for the fall. So for me, that's super exciting because I have a passion. And so I'm so committed to this partnership. When I got the invite, because Mark was not going to be here, I'm like, yes, because I have that passion. So, and I want to thank all of you for being here and for all that you do with this internship program. So I want to tell you a little bit about what our interns gain when they come to Baylor Scott and White Health. They get a lot of exposure to many things. They not only get projects that they work on with directors and executives, and our executive teams are so very open to this. They will spend time with them and give them projects. And like you said earlier about a win-win, it's such a win-win. But they teach us things. We learn a lot from our interns. I learn a lot on the techie side because they seem to be really techie. And so I learn a lot from that. I actually, in the last 38 years, have kept up with 90% of my interns and students. And that takes time, whether it's a card or Facebook or LinkedIn or whatever. I try to keep up with them. Many of them are married now and have babies and, you know, teenagers, which makes me feel a little older. But it's just awesome to have that relationship. So we build relationships. We give them a place where they can apply what they've learned in school. And that's important too. They have to be able to take what they learn and apply it. And sometimes it's not exactly how you learned it, right? And so we help them through all those challenges. We're a resource. I was on the phone with an intern on my way here today, this morning. Again, she started last Wednesday, so she just wanted to visit with me and talk more about my role. And she'll be shadowing some of our clinics this week. So just super exciting. It also gives them an opportunity to learn about our organization. So it is a pipeline. It's a pipeline. We have many roles that are non-clinical. From our Quality Institute, we have lean teams, we have human resources. We just have a lot of departments that are not clinical. And so we need the non-clinical interns to be partners with us and become employees with Baylor Scott and White. A couple other things that is really beneficial, again, the partnerships that they build. We hope that they want to work for Baylor Scott and White Health, so we also try to help them find employment. And we've got several now that are applying for HR positions and a lean position. So again, I'm passionate. Can't wait to partnership. This actually has been a dream of mine for a long time. A way for, across the state, a way for interns to really talk to each other, share best practices. I don't know that much about it, but I'm excited and hope that it's as great as I think it's going to be. And I would love to partner. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Sandra. She didn't drink my water. She drank her own water, and that worked out just great. But Sandra, you explained everything that the program's all about. An opportunity to connect, collaborate, and network, doing all those kind of things. And so Mark Sherry, when I called Mark, I talked to him a while back about this, and when I mentioned it, he was pretty excited about it. And so he made it work that you'd have an opportunity to come out here with us today. But again, this is opportunities for us to really fill those voids in Texas. At the end of the day, we don't want any of our Texas companies leaving the state because they can't find the labor force. We want to make sure that we are providing that labor force, and this is just another tool in that toolbox with apprenticeships and other work-based learning programs to make that happen. And so with that, I'm going to bring up Ben. How do you say that last name, Ben?
Losick. H silent.
It's H-L, okay. Losick, okay. Ben's with Business Strategy Consulting. Come on up. And Ben is with Accenture, another good partner of ours. Tamara and the team, let her know that we appreciate you guys coming over. Amy, thank you guys so much for joining us. And so I'll turn it over to Ben.
Thank you.
Hey everyone, I wanted to just start out by saying, you know, as a kid, my mom would pull her hair out because I was such a curious person. I asked why to everything, and I think why is something that kids overuse that drives parents insane, but I think as a consultant, why is the most important question, because there's always a way to do something better, right? And, you know, I went to UT Austin, and I found that there was a lot of problem-solving abilities in the classroom, but I really wanted to get into that real-world environment. And so I went full force in internships. I think I had like 5, I don't know. But the most recent one was with Accenture in 2018. I knew Accenture really focused on community impact, continuous learning, and project delivery. So I wanted to tell you a quick story just about my experience. I had the opportunity to be on such an incredible team of people who were really what we call people developers. They really were invested in the learning and flourishment of me, both personally and professionally. And I really believe that that team was really what helps make my project so amazing. Real quick, the project was a project to figure out how to attract and retain data science talent in a major city in the US. And so it enabled me as an intern to be able to interview key C-level stakeholders from the government, healthcare, energy, and education industries and really create a formative solution. And we ended up putting forth a proposal to create an innovation center, a data science specific innovation center in that city. And it's cool to look back now, this was about 4 years ago, and that's actually been created at this time. So it's really cool to see my impact as an intern and just kind of see that come to fruition. Because a lot of times with strategy projects, you don't really see that through, but it was a really cool experience for me. But you know, beyond that, I wanted to just kind of give a few takeaways of what internships should be and how interns should really, you know, approach these internships. I think number one is you really need to be a sponge. Learning is the most important thing for internships. I think it's not only your hard skills, like your analysis skills and whatever else you're going to be doing that's hands-on. It's also those soft skills that you really gain in the internships, such as communication, client relationship management, you know, emotional intelligence, EQ. I think there's so many things that are involved outside of just a classroom and a grade, right? You really have to manage that relationship with your professor, but not really anyone else. And there's a lot more moving parts when you really get into the project. So being a sponge is so important, and just learning that and taking those skills to be transferable to potentially other job interviews, other jobs that you have, and potentially, hopefully, your internship can lead to a full-time offer as well. The second thing I would say is keep your network close. I was actually watching the Kardashians last night, and Kris Jenner said a quote where it's like, when you walk down the bridge, you meet some people, but when you walk back up that bridge, you meet the same people later on in life. And I thought that was really interesting because it kind of has to go with don't ever burn a bridge, because you want to meet those people later in life. And you never know what opportunities that they're going to provide you or where they're going to be. And they might be in a company that you might want to work for, or have a quick opportunity that could be a +1 outside of your work as well. So make those lasting connections, and sometimes they can lead to even mentorship opportunities as well, either formal or informal, you know, throughout different companies. And then the last thing I would say is, and I think I would say it's the most important, is to be yourself and know your worth. I think it's so important to come to jobs 100% authentically yourself, so you can present your best foot forward and also feel comfortable and confident in your work. I think it enables productivity. It enables you to really get to know your team in a real, true personal level. And you know, being able to be authentically yourself, I think it also comes with the questions that you ask in your interviews with the companies as well. Just in terms of their culture, how they value their employees, you know, what's most important to them from a learning and development perspective, because that's ultimately what you're there for. But just wanted to give those tidbits, and Accenture was an amazing place. I'm still here 3 years later, so of course it had a great impact on me, and was really excited to get that full-time offer outside of the internship. And yeah, happy to stay after and talk to anyone that has any questions. Appreciate it.
I think you've been quoted Kim Kardashian. I was looking for a Jay-Z quote. So lastly, we're going to bring up Texas Mutual. This is where, again, a company that I really enjoyed. I tried to get Matthew over there to work with Texas Mutual, my youngest. It's like, man, they're doing some phenomenal things in the community. I mean, amazing things. And so, Jeremiah, come up and tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing. So, thank you.
Yeah, and he told us, do I have to work in Austin? And we said yes. And he's like, you know what, I'm out. So I don't know what to say about that. Yeah, Texas Mutual Insurance Company, we really believe in all the ways that you can work with young folks to bring in the pipeline of talent. So we have a long-standing trainee program. We have 2 groups that just started there. We do interns, and we just started doing an apprenticeship program out of our Houston office to help increase our talent and diversity of our pool of claims workers. And for us, it really comes down to, like, we're an insurance company, and it's not like a real sexy industry, and it's a graying industry, and like nobody was ever future underwriters of America or anything, right? Like nobody grew up, but it's a great industry, and you know, we can bring interns in and expose them to the different types of jobs, like the different experiences and opportunities and things that you can get exposed to at a company that's a lot about insurance, but it's about a lot more than just that. And we like to believe that we're a mission-based company, and we do a lot of things to support the workplace of Texas as a whole. And so we find if we can just get people in the door, you know, we can connect them to the mission, that we can really hang on to them. We've got a long time, a lot of really tenured employees and long-term employees that have come through these various programs. So I'm really excited about it. I tried to get some of our interns in the accounting department to come with me, but apparently it's our staff meeting, and I don't know, they thought like this press conference boondoggle wasn't like worth their time, because they're accountants, right? You know, they're like, I got some math to do, you know? But I will say the interns I've had, like I've had to rethink onboarding and training of employees, because like they're just so smart and so with it and so ready to go and like eager. And you know, I had this like, here's what we're gonna do over the first 2 weeks, and we covered that in 3 days, and it's like, oh, now we gotta like find projects, right? You know, we gotta do work. So I think it's really rewarding and exciting. I would encourage everybody to do it. You know, it's good. There's like life and sort of enthusiasm and excitement around the office that we don't necessarily always get. Maybe judge some of my longer term employees a little bit. Like, that kid did this project in a day that it took you a month. You know, so for all those reasons, it's a great experience for the company as an employer, and hopefully we're able to create great experiences for the interns that we bring in too. So thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity always to speak, because we love everything y'all do. And thank you both very much, commissioners.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jeremiah. I appreciate you guys. And so those are the employers, and I'm excited about the employers because I have the opportunity to represent the employers. Commissioner Alvarez talked about the labor side, and so we're going to hear from some of the students. Now, I call them students. I guess they are students. And so this is a part of their learning process, and so I'm going to follow the agenda now, I guess. And we'll go with Joshua Hall, first one up. Joshua.
All right. Hello, everyone. Or did I drop something? I'm just making sure. Joshua Hall. I am currently a rising third-year marketing student at the C.T. Bauer College of Business at the University of Houston. As far back as I can remember, since I was 15 years old, only 5 years ago, pretty young, my core goal in life has always been the improvement of quality of life for those around me in whatever actionable way I can manage. Even in the smallest little bits, the things that people might consider little, an added smile, an added laugh to someone's day, when I'm able to contribute that, I truly do feel accomplished. I, of course, wanted to make sure that I had my goals in mind as I would pursue an internship, knowing that that's one of the first major steps in establishing yourself in a career. And so that connected me with the TWC. As you guys know, Ben talked a bit about it, the TWC shares it. It's a very people-oriented agency. To me, it means so much to know the impact that you have. Out of the hundreds of people that are employed by the TWC, they all know how their work impacts on an exact level. And I think that is a true blessing to be a part of. So what I'm saying, I say all of this to not only encourage interns, but as well as that, people that are already established in their career, to always be pushing for not only the advancement, but renewed excellence in what you're doing. Knowing that you have to keep your goals in mind in what you're pursuing. And that's gonna always making sure that you're advancing in life. So, it's a little bit there.
Good job.
Jeremiah, you talk about raising the game or whatever.
That's what I was thinking.
Raise my game.
Gotta step it up.
Kidding, man.
Step it up from that point. Josh stated he had 1 minute and 7 seconds, so thank you guys for being here. We're delighted to have you guys on board, and I'm quite sure there are other interns that are doing phenomenal work as well. And so next we're going to bring up Alejandro Perez. Perez, I get to pronounce it that way, Communications and Policy Intern here with the Workforce Commission.
Yes, sir.
Come on up.
So Hi, my name is Alejandro Perez. I'm from Dripping Springs, Texas, and I'm a third-year student at the University of Texas at San Antonio, where I'm studying data science and statistics. I would first like to thank the Commissioner and his staff for giving me and my colleagues this opportunity to be interning here at the agency this summer with a focus on public policy and communications. Following this internship, I look forward to gaining more pertinent and practical experience as well as knowledge within the public sector. This internship also offers me the opportunity to use the abilities and skills that I've acquired at university and apply them towards completing our tasks here at the agency as well as furthering the agency's goals. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it, and sorry for it was a little bit short, but I welcome up the next guest.
It was right on time, Alejandro. Right on time, so we're good. So then we're going to bring up Yasmin as well. Yasmin's on the HR team, Human Resources, and I thought it would be fitting that a person out of the HR side would be part of this initiative as well. Jerry White, who runs our HR division, is here today, and he has 2 interns with him. Jerry, thank you for your support of these efforts. Yasmin, come on up.
Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's having a great morning. My name is Yasmin Sahuri. I'm from Austin, Texas, junior at Texas State University, and I am majoring in business administration with a concentration in HR. So the reason I decided to do HR is because I'm a people's person. I like to get to know people professionally, personally, any type of way. And at the Texas Workforce Commission, I got this HR internship because I believe an internship will help me get experience into the field of HR and basically get my foot into the door. And I believe I come from a retail sector as my first job, and moving that to a full-time job is a big change. So my internship is giving me the opportunity to transition a lot easier whenever I graduate college. Thank you.
So our future is bright. We're going to round up, and again, I have the Workforce Solutions Rural Capital Area, and so Kelly, thank you guys again for being here, and then Cody Brown, first day on the job as well, the interns, and so this is Cody's first day on the job as part of our outreach efforts. But this has been a phenomenal morning. Texas Interns Unite. Bonnie reminded me to go to our LinkedIn page and join Texas Interns Unite. We have an event that's going to be happening on June the 10th, this Friday. Already have 220 registrants already, and it hadn't even gone live just yet. And so we have a number of folks actually looking for jobs. One of the first posts was actually a company out of Dallas that's looking for 2 interns. We need accountants in that space, and that's already on there, that's real. And so we want to connect, we want to make things happen. We want to make sure that that Texas employer has those interns from that standpoint to make a difference. When I was at the restaurant, one of the waitresses was a third-year student at UT studying Spanish, and also wanted to be a nurse. And so I said, I'm going to be meeting some folks from Baylor, Scott & White. So I said, connect with me on LinkedIn, and I'm going to connect you with the Baylor, Scott & White folks. I mean, a real sharp young lady that's going to go out there to do some things, but she needs a connection. And so that's where we can make a difference in a big, big way. And so to the employers, I appreciate you guys for being here today. I appreciate what the investment that you're making in our state. We don't take it for granted at all. And to Commissioner Alvarez, thank you again for your support of these efforts. Kim, thank you for being here as well, representing the chairman's office. And with that, I think we're going to turn it over. We do have coffee and snacks and all those kind of things. Mr. Alvarez gave us a hard time, Catherine. We're going to make it happen.
I'll show you the free Google food. Don't worry.
All for Mr. Alvarez, we're going to make that happen. But again, delighted to have you guys here. Secretary Hughes, thank you for joining us today. It means a lot for you to be here. We appreciate you. And we're excited. Texas Interns Unite. There's some hashtags out there. Bonnie, anything that I'm forgetting from that standpoint?
Hashtag Texas Interns Unite and hashtag Texas Interns.
Okay. Hashtag Texas Interns and Unite, and Bonnie will tell you the rest as well. Cassandra is in here as well. Cassandra, we're all clear?
We're all clear. Thank you.
Okay. All right, so look forward to this event Friday, June the 10th. That's our virtual summit for interns. And so if you're an employer, direct your interns there. It's going to be at 10:30 on Friday. July 28th, Texas National Internship Day with the Texas Twist. That's going to be taking place. And then September 30th, thank you so much. Why Texas is going to be doing their summit, and we're going to be a major part of that at AT&T Stadium, where we're going to have a number of interns descending on the Cowboys football field and really just kind of taking care of business. So we encourage you guys to get out with that. Again, employers, thank you all for your support of these efforts. And with that, we are adjourned. So thank you.